To our angel of the house, it's good to be in the house of the Lord one more time. Amen. On this great Resurrection Sunday. I'm like Minister Artist, you get real nervous. Um, I don't want to say bad grammar, but when that thing get on you, you get nervous. But I want to talk to you today, this evening, about something that really is important to all of us. If you would turn to the book of Hosea, chapter 3. You have it by saying amen. Then said the Lord unto me, Go yet love a woman beloved of her friend, yet an adulteress, according to the love of the Lord toward the children of Israel, who look to other gods and love flagons of wine. So I brought her to me for 15 pieces of silver, and for a homer and a barley, and a half a homer of barley. And I said unto her, Thou shalt abide for me for many days, thou shalt not play the harlot, and thou shalt not be for another man, so will I also be for thee. Used for a subject, I can't stop loving you to save my life. Love is a very small word, but it carries a whole lot of weight. And it's often misused sometimes because we use it so frequently. We say, I love you so quick without noticing the real impact and the meaning of the word love. Love is funny. Love is kind. Love is consoling. Love is true. It's true. It's genuine. When I met Miss Sister English, I was quite younger than I am now. And if you let her tell the story how she captivated me, it's quite different from my story. But the Lord has blessed us through the years, and we will be married 30-some years come the 22nd of this month. But can I help you for a minute? Watch this deal here. If you have someone who manages your money well, keeps you clean, keeps a full plate in front of you, take care of your home, you might want to hang in there. You might want to stay there. If you have someone who take care of your children and they're not theirs, and you have somebody that helps your mother and your family, you might want to hang in there. Love is so misused sometimes, and sometimes we gather love so easily, but we lose it so quickly. Let me help you. Watch this. Love, if you could bottle it or can it and sell it, you would be the most richest person in the world. You can't control love. It's freely given. You can't put a price on love. But watch how Hosea desired to be a prophet of the Lord. And the Lord not only painted a picture for Hosea, he let him feel what he was feeling. God had been hurt by Israel. They had played the harlot. In other words, they've been fooling around. And we've been fooling around on God too. If you really want to get down nitty gritty, when the pandemic came, you played around a whole lot. You stayed at home. But God loved Israel with a mighty love. Mm-hmm. I got a friend, he was always talking about the Iranians and all those people that are over there. And I told him, I said, let me tell you something. God got his hand on those people. And you better watch your tongue, because God coming back for his people. And he's going to take care of his people, just like he take care of us. Amen? Mm-hmm. But watch how this, if you would turn to Exodus chapter 20, you find out, you see the 10 Commandments. You see how God had programmed, and he made this covenant with Israel. He said, I am the Lord thy God. The first part of the 10 Commandments, he's talking to Israel. He's telling them how to treat him. He says, I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Israel, out of the house of bondage. Thou shalt have no other God before me. Thou shalt make unto any graven images or any likeness or anything that is in heaven above or that's in the earth or beneath. Then he said, thou shalt not bow down thyself to give them or serve them. Mm-hmm. But Israel had been going in and out of bondage. They had been going to other gods every time you turn around. Mm-hmm. And I think we do that sometimes. Sometimes we get so far from God, and when the chastisement come upon us, then we run back. We run right back. And God has to chastise us, but he don't just throw us away. He receives us. He brings us right back. And he don't put you way back at the back of the line. He puts you right there in front. That's the mighty God we serve, amen? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Did you hear that? That was, Did you get that? But watch. He says, go marry a lover of lovers. Mm-hmm. He went down and he married a streetwalker. Gomer was very good looking. Her hair was dark as 1,000 midnights. Her skin was tender as honey. Her lips was red as a pomegranate. Mm-hmm. She was very well figured. And he asked her for her hand, and she went home with the preacher. Mm-hmm. God showed him how he was going to have to feel the pain that he had felt with Israel. When you first get married, the relationship is real hot. Yeah. I remember when me and Sister Ingrid first got married, we were going shopping for Christmas. We was in JCPenney, and I was standing up in the aisle like a Christmas tree. Had all them gifts wrapped all around me. That's love. But I got her back. She was going down the mall, and I stood up on the bench, and I said, hey! She turned around, what? I said, I love you. It was an embarrassing moment, but she laughed. But during the first part of the marriage, life is hard. intertwined with loving one another. But the first son that they have, God begins, and you go in chapter, and you'll find it, and it said, God, let me get back to this chapter so we can work on it. Go back to Hosea. Chapter, verse 4, and it said, the Lord said, call his name Jerel, for yet a little while. And she conceived again in verse 6 and bare a daughter. And God said to him, call her name Lerumah, for I have no mercy upon the house of Israel. And now when she had weaned Lerumah, she conceived and bare a son. As God sent Hosea through these trials and these tribulations during love, and just like God never stopped loving Israel, Hosea never stopped loving his wife. Never stopped. I'm not going to keep you long, but I want to bring this with you. As Gomer went back to her profession, being a streetwalker, Hosea was left there to raise those children by himself. And as Hosea, the months turned into years, Hosea finally finds and said to your children, go down there and see how your mama is doing and bring me a report. They go down and the report comes back and it's not well. He says, Daddy, mama is on the cell block. She's on the slave block. She's not desirable of men. Time has dug furrows in her face. Time has put gray strings in her hair. Her figure is gone. And she's been sold into domestic service. And he said, well, how much they want for? And they told him the price. And can't you see this preacher go into his box and get out 15 pieces of silver? Goes into the barn and he gets a homer of barley and a half. And he goes down there and he buys his wife back. She talks to him. She says, Hosea, I've been with many men. I'm not desirable to be your wife. But Hosea says, hush. I don't want to hear that. I can't stop loving you to save my life. Huh? Trying to make it plain to you now. Just like Israel had played the harlot on God, he said, I can't stop loving you. Now, this is just how I see it. You ain't got to receive this. This is just how I play it out in my mind. I believe there was a meeting in heaven. God sat at the head of the table. There was an angel on the right, an angel on the left. Time sat on one side of the table. Justice sat on the side with time. Grace sat on the other side. And mercy sat beside him. And Jesus sat on the other end of the table. God set the meeting in order. Time said we had enough time dealing with man. Justice said, why don't we just give man justice? Why don't we just give him what he deserves? But grace said, I think man ought to have mercy. I think he ought to have mercy. Grace said, I second the motion. God said, who we going to send? And Jesus said, I'll go. He said, just prepare me a body and I'll go. Time said they going to spit on you. The cold wind going to blow on you. They going to strip the flesh from your skin. But Jesus said, I can't stop loving them to save my life. God bless you.
Wow, man.